This is the highlight of my year. This is something that I've spoken about for more than 10 years. And every single time I speak about it, this is what I'm looking for. A room full of people who are interested in this particular thing. There's absolutely nothing I would say here that has not been said. But we don't know. This is something that we're all aware of. We know the problems. We actually know the solutions. It's just that it is so difficult for them to be emphasized and done or follow up. There's nobody from the northern Nigeria that would say he doesn't know the root cause of Almajiri or has not been in a room where people will talk about the Almajiri system and its disadvantages. So when I started this movement, I just finished the university, and as a fresh graduate, we all want to do something extraordinary. I said I want to dissolve Almajiri in Nigeria. That was the first thing I said. I started talking about it. The heat was unbelievably much on social media, because I think as I was going through some of the hadiths of them saying in Hausa, I think one of the videos I said, I really don't think that hadith meant exactly how people are translating it now. I don't think the Prophet said, bring out children and throw them on the streets for them to fend for themselves. Because there's still an ayah that countered that, saying, family, your children and your wives. So you can't tell me that this is Islam. The Islam that I've read cannot tell me that it's okay for children to be on the streets looking for food without shoes. So I kept on doing research, talking to different people. Every single person that I came across said to me, don't start this. They gave me so many instances. They've said so many things to discourage me. But every single time I walk around the streets of Kano, I went to University of Maiduguri, I see how this boys, I see the look on their eyes, seeing us in a car while they are on the streets. What is the difference? I keep asking myself, what is the difference? The only difference is my dad went to school, went through jobs, and was able to buy a car for us to sit down here. I know that people can actually go through Islamic education in other countries and be successful. But Nigeria is a country where it's civilized, and we're not governed by Sharia laws. We don't have people in the parliament because they've finished the Quran, because it's not Hajj or something. No, but you have to go through school to get all these things. So when I started this, after going through all my thoughts, my dad sat me down and said, you have to look at this in a different way. You're dealing with three major factors: the parents, you're dealing with the government, the malams, and the society. The parents are the ones that send them. And just like Malam rightfully said, they don't want the responsibility, so they push them out. The politicians will never want this to stop, because they use these children as thugs during election period. These are the children that you see in a trailer, running from one city to another, chanting somebody's name, because they have nothing to lose. So eradicating this or reforming this will mean during election time, there won't be a gathering of 1 million youths doing nothing, because they know we've not done anything for them. The people who are educated are barely there. So they will never reform this or stop it. Individuals like me and every other like mine here are the ones that will keep talking about it until somebody up there will hear us. The malams, this is absolutely a source of livelihood for almost all of them. This 10 naira, 100 naira that you bring to them, they don't work. This is what they use to take care of their responsibilities. And the irony is, they use that money to send their children to a conventional school, while they take this money from a 4-year-old. Some of them start from the ages of 4. Then the society, we are not ready to reform it. Because a big man in Kano with an amazing house, huge walls, security lights everywhere. These children sleep in front of his gate. He comes out in the morning to go to the morning prayers, and they walk past. He sees it, and he has done nothing about it. So there's absolutely nothing anybody from the northern Nigeria will tell me about wanting to reform it, but it's not working. We're not willing to make it work. So quickly, I would say when I started mine, I said I would not go to a particular place and say, let me pick 5 children from this Almajiri system and say, okay, let me give you an opportunity. I want to take an entire school and give them an opportunity. I don't want to select. So the reason why I have not done it in the northern part of Nigeria, some people always say that, it's because I'm not in Kano, I'm here. And I want to be able to foresee whatever it is that is happening to this school. This is a prototype for me to see how we can replicate it in different schools. When we started 5 years ago, we took a school in Masaka that had 80 students. Right now we have 281. Just like they said, you can't turn them away. When they come, they want to be included in that type of system. So you can't turn them away. We keep taking, now we don't have places to keep them because it's choked. That is where we keep saying we need help from people to come and intervene and see what we're doing. Gradually, I realized the Malam only want inclusion. They don't want you to say, I'm building a school in one different location. I will take you away from your location, take you to a different location and give you nothing for it after going through all this process of gathering these children. The person that has the database of these children is the man. He is the single person that the parents trust to send to. Some don't even know the man, somebody traced them to give that person. So if you need these children to follow you and work with you, you have to take the man along. It's just like being born in a Christian home or a Muslim home. When you're born a Christian, 99% chances you would be Christian. You were born Muslim, 99% chance you would be Muslim. Very few people change religions. So it's just the same mindset. This is something that I grew up knowing. Changing from this system, you have to change the Malam first. What I did with mine is intervention for the Malams. I had 3 Malams come together, bring the entire schools together, and I gave them an intervention of 6 months. I wanted them to understand the value of Western education. If you don't know the value of something, how do you preach it to another person? So I made sure that they understood what that value is. Before giving any Almajiri child an opportunity to have a Western education, I gave their kids first. I wanted them to see the difference between what the kids look like and how they sound, and them sitting in a room full like this with people who they think they can never sit with, coming to a PTA meeting for their child. So after 6 months, and we had to go out of our way to make sure that they had something they're doing for themselves. That 10 naira is no longer something they look out for. You have to have a farmland. You have to train them for a skill. They have to learn something. They have to earn something. So after making sure that they know what they're doing, we made sure that they had things to do, including their wives. Then after all this, because those children have dependents, and dependents are not just the mothers, just like she rightly said, the parents are equally dependent. My research showed me that every month children send back home money. Some of them, they send back home money to their parents. So those parents, we had to bring them in as well to see how do we give them a skill, how do we train them to do something. We had to do all that. It takes a lot of time and money, but it is doable. As Madam said, I'm so glad I'm not the one that said planned parenting is very, very important. It is very important for us to look into planning how children give birth. If Layla said this, what Madam said, the whole northern Nigeria will hear about this. What you do. Thank you so much.
I was too young to understand what is life, but I was mindful about why should I be deprived from that love of a family.
The fundamental objective of one of the things that we do as an organization is to bridge the gap between funding for education and marginalized children. And we believe that the Almajiri children are one of the most marginalized children that you can find in northern Nigeria.
From the work that I does in Nigeria, and more specifically in the northern part, so in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe, we're trying to see the exploitative and also to fight the exploitative practices that unfortunately come along with this practice.
With my team, we visited Sokoto to support the girls' education project here.
I want to be a teacher.